Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review where the hosts of the What You Say Anime podcast nominate and vote on shows either we haven't seen or shows that hopefully lead to a great discussion. On today's episode, the Sabbath boys of the What You Say Anime podcast will be reviewing the 2018 Anime of the Year, Devilman Crybaby. Let's meet today's partygoers. First up, his Halloween themed party of Devilman will be consisting of Devilman donuts, Crybaby cocktails, and a lot of sex. We got Jay. Jay, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. I'm glad to be back on Watch Club and What Do You Say Anime in general. I've been gone for what feels like forever, but I'm here to stay, baby. I'll never leave you again, Peter.
Oh, thank you. And I can't wait for your Halloween themed Devilman party. Next up, it's the birthday boy. And for his present, he got a multitude of despair and 90 minutes with the boys. We got Miles. Miles, how's it going?
Oh, it's going well. I'm excited to talk about this.
Well, happy birthday. And Pat.
Hello, guys. Yeah, I'm fighting with my Halloween costume, so I'm probably going to take it off. I came as the donkey from the show because, yeah, there we go. We're watching Devilman Crybaby, baby. That's what we watched. Happy birthday, Miles, by the way. That's why this won. Surely it had some, juju going on there. Surely, right? Without a doubt. I'm sure you'd rather be doing nothing else in your life than sitting here talking about Devilman Crybaby on your birthday while your son sleeps in the other room and your wife does something else, right?
You know, my wife and my son are down at her parents' right now because of scheduling stuff. So, no, I would literally nothing else for me to do. I got to eat. Kayla, please come home. I can't function without
Miles will change like I'm changing for Peter.
No food in the house or something.
No. I don't get hungry and often have to be reminded to eat.
Okay.
You're like a
Anyways,
dog.
let's talk about Devilman Crybaby.
I wish I had that issue. Damn, that sounds like
it hasn't really helped me on the weight part because when I do remember to eat, I eat a lot. So and then you're really hungry once you finally get hungry because you're like, oh my God, I haven't eaten in 12 hours. So you just sort of gorge yourself. But I've had 2 granola bars today.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
You didn't order pizza for your birthday or something?
I forgot. I was planning on it. And yeah, I don't know. I could do whatever the hell I want tonight. Maybe I'll order a pizza after the pod.
Whoa.
Are you going to be awake when it gets here? Yeah.
There's no chance that I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
You should bake a pizza in the oven after the pod and then fall asleep doing that. And you can not just have a burnt corpse of a pizza in your oven afterwards.
Just
a Devilman pizza, one might say.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Nice.
Great joke, Pat. I have to ask, just because we brought it up, has anyone else ever ordered something on DoorDash or something? Not sponsored. We're sponsored by Uber Eats, by the way. Has anyone ever ordered something like that late at night, drunk as shit, and then just forgotten about it, or fallen asleep before going to get it? Or am I the only one that did that in college?
No.
You guys didn't have the chance.
My apartment neighbors.
Yeah, I did.
I was too broke.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm so considerate of DoorDash drivers where my front porch light was out for 6 months and I refused to order food at night because I wanted to make sure the delivery driver knew where my house was.
Wow.
Okay. One time in college got a pizza, but there was a blizzard, so they called and they were like, "Hey, we can't deliver this. Sorry." And I was like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll come." And so I walked a mile in a blizzard to get the pizza, and it was the best tasting pizza of my life.
I bet.
A lot of work for that pizza.
Hell yeah.
There's a pizza place down the hill from me that stays open in those storms just for the plow people so that they can have a place to eat. And also for the psychos like my dad and I who will walk down and order wings after, just to hang out with them. It's a good time. Yeah, no, it's shout out. Never mind. I'm not going to dox myself.
You dox yourself plenty.
I thought about that too after the fact. I haven't doxed my street address though.
Oh, it's true.
Say the street the pizza shop's named after the street that I live off of. So
gotcha. I'll get the GeoGuessr guy. I'll hire him and he'll find you.
Oh yeah, please do not. He would find me at a heartbeat.
He sees a rock. He's like, I know exactly where that is.
He sees the finish in my basement and is like, only 4 homes in this neighborhood could possibly have that finish. And blah, 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 blah. All right. Yeah, let's wait, we're talking about Devilman. That's right tonight. Yeah, so we should probably get on to that. 7.75 on Mal. It aired in January 2018. This is a Netflix anime. One of the first ones they did, wasn't it? Like or
Well, I mean, they didn't
first
make it,
major
but
ones.
yeah, to get like distribution rights and stuff.
That's what yeah, fair enough. That's
Yep.
what I mean. Yeah, that they distributed one of their first experiments really into anime beyond just like backlog stuff. Sourced from a manga, genres are action, avant-garde, horror, supernatural, gore, and mythology. Those are themes, but yeah, pretty R-rated, pretty spoiler heavy as well. So keep that in mind. We'll do our first impressions first, though. So what have you got for us, Maz?
Yeah, of note, also won Anime of the Year in 2018.
I mentioned that in my intro.
Missed it.
Don't worry, people never listen to me anyway, so I get it.
Great. Yeah, so I first watched this back in 2018 when I was living on my own and I was bored and I was like, what's this new anime? And so I watched it and I was like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever fucking watched. And I watched all of it and then I called several friends to tell them about it. And they were like,
you should start a podcast.
Yeah. No, but like I really like this. I've liked this since I initially watched it. It's not like the animation isn't like terribly avant-garde or anything, but it was like the first foray I had into anything that wasn't like very classically animated. And it's the first Science Saru show I watched, which obviously opened like a lot of things. So this is pretty formational in my anime taste, and everything is sort of developed from this aspect. So would I recommend this? Yeah. Get at it.
Okay, I was about to ask, would you recommend it still? Yeah, because
I mean, the first thing I did was call people and tell them to watch it. So yes, I'll put my money where my mouth is, and in fact, I did.
There you go. All right, Jay, what about you?
Yeah, so it might actually surprise a lot of people. It has surprised a lot of people when I mention this, but this is actually my first time I've ever watched Devilman Crybaby, which is interesting because I think a lot of people would say that's a J-core show. If I've ever seen one, Science Saru, edgy, dealing with the consequences of humanity and an anti-war peace. That's just Vinland Saga. People besides the Science Saru part or something, but similar.
It's more historically accurate, though, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
obviously, we all know what happened in Peru, but I really enjoyed this. I thought that episode 1 was kind of like, it's a lot. I think that if somebody can get through episode 1 and watching like Rio run around like killing people with a broken bottle in the club and shit, I think if you can get through that, then you're probably good to go through the whole series for the most part, because that's like the most visceral part. But I think that it's interestingly animated. Like some people might have their hangups with it, but I really enjoyed it. It's very, very Science Saru in its animation, very Yuasa, of course. And the music's pretty incredible. I liked the dub a lot, actually. Johnny Young Bosch killed it as Wamu. I think that going back and reading the source material after this, I like a lot of the changes they made when it comes to like certain characters like Wamu and Miki and whatnot. But would I recommend this? Yeah, probably. Depending on the person. Like if they're not into like gore or really violent things, then I probably wouldn't recommend it. But otherwise, rip into it.
Fair enough. All right, Pete, what about you?
Okay, since Kat's not here, I gotta pull a Cat. Okay, I did not like this show. The entertainment factor is near zero. Every episode I like ended on like a note where I'm just like, I really do not want to watch the next episode. But I would absolutely recommend Devilman Crybaby. I think that this is such a unique show with what it's presenting and in the manner that it does. I think in some places it's like over the top, but necessary at the same time. It's a whole lot into one thing, but man, like I'm soft. Like I'm a stand-in as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Like I'm triple ply toilet paper soft. So watching something like this was really hard, especially the second time watching it, where I skipped part of episode 9, like straight up. I cannot watch that again. Like it has those type of scenes where like I do not need to relive that moment. It just lives rent free in my head. But goddamn, it does not mean that this show is memorable, impactful, stylistically just incredible. I would absolutely recommend this show. But goddamn it, this show sucks.
Valid. I'm gonna be somewhere in between there. In between everybody else. I like that way you described that, Pete, because like I don't know if I was looking forward to each next episode, but not because I was enjoying it, but more because I was like, all right, so where are they gonna go? Like what are they trying to say? What are they trying to do? What's going on here? Make it make sense finally, because it wasn't clicking for me for a long time. I don't think it really did what it was trying to do. I am really excited to talk about this tonight because I have done more reading for this show than I have done for probably the last like 7 shows combined that we've done, which of course part of it is that it constitutes that by the nature of the kind of story it was telling and the show that it was. But I'm still not sold on what was happening. I still don't have a score yet. I am coming in pretty hot, I would say, overall on talking about this show, and I am very curious to see where I end up by the end of it. I would not recommend this to a bunch of people. I would not recommend this to anyone that hasn't watched anime before. I would not, like, even if like I would not have been Miles saying, hey,
more
random
or less
friend,
anime.
more or less your first. Oh, you've watched Naruto before? Yeah, you're good. You can watch this. Would not do that.
It's kind of Naruto-esque.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to think of like I think this might have been my 3rd anime. Like I think I watched 4th maybe. Like it was pretty low, and the stuff before it was all like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and like Psychopaths, just like very grounded stuff.
Psychopaths grounded? I feel like that's not how it's usually described to me.
It's like okay. You have to realize the rest of the fiction I consume is very on par with what I like in anime. So to me, yes.
That's fair. I guess, well, so that's my point. Like yours, knowing you, especially in hindsight, like it makes sense that this would be a 3rd anime and it wouldn't bother you. I think for most people that and the way they consume media, this would be way too like I refused to watch this on the 1st floor of my house. I was either watching this in my basement or on the 3rd floor, like after everyone had gone to bed.
Funny to just for you to have that on in the living room. That would be a little funny. I'm not.
We did watch the final 2 episodes. My girlfriend and I did watch the final 2 episodes on the 1st floor of our house or my house, and that was because it was 12:30 at night. So and everyone else was asleep. There was just no way otherwise that we were going to do that. I would so to continue, I guess. I would not recommend this to anyone that is queasy with gore or sex or
faint of heart,
any like sexual assault. Anyone that doesn't like titties, like.
Okay, now wait a minute.
That does not like titties.
You just alienated everybody in anime.
I'm saying I would recommend it to people that like titties, but
okay, we're good.
Don't.
Okay,
we're good.
That's what I said. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Maybe the double negative cancel. I don't know. And even then, like to regular like mainstream, this would not like. I don't see a Dragon Ball Z head watching this and getting much out of it. Like I'm struggling to get something out of it. Beyond like I mean, I say get something out of it. Maybe it's my goals in watching a story are to be moved or to like find a deeper meaning and understand the message it's trying to send. I feel stupid that I'm not understanding it and the conversations that we have had building up to this, I cannot believe we are so far apart from being like in line with each other that I can't imagine someone getting to this point that is like not someone who consumes a lot of media critically the way I do, I guess, or that we do as a group. Moreover, you know, so like someone who just watches it to throw it on in the background or likes the fights. I mean, they'll get the fights out of it, the action, the choreography, the animation style is very cool in it. But I don't think they'll get enough positives out of it to actually say that they enjoyed that show. You know, that's the way I would look at it, at
counterpoint
least.
that would be is that I mean, I constantly make people watch this if I get the chance. And so, some Discord members and people that have guested on the pod before, Fire, Rifle, and Preston, both were like, I like when Devilman go fight. Show good. So I think that if you're okay with the more brutal, sort of difficult themes, like if you can consume that, you can just put on the show and enjoy it from a Devilman go burr aspect.
Mhm.
I don't think we're going to be getting that perspective tonight, but that is something that people have said.
Well, maybe from
That's
me.
Okay.
That's fair. But yeah, so I don't know how much of the population I just mentioned is not recommending in terms of, like, I guess a lot, because non-anime fans outnumber anime fans in the general population. But like, but if you like, I would have, if I saw Jay, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm recommending this to Jay because it's a Jay Core show, as he said. Pete, I would have thought I would have recommended it to him because he likes stories that make you think and things that are emotional, and it would make sense. Miles, you like makes sense to recommend it to you because you're a fucking psycho. No, I'm kidding. And I think I would have recommended it to what? Sorry.
So I was talking to my dad today, and my dad was like, we were talking about like the podcast, and he was like, well, when does it come out? Like, I'll watch your episode you're recording tonight. And I've been trying to convince him not to watch specifically this episode.
Get your dad to watch it.
I've watched similar stuff with my dad. I think this would be a little too much.
Question.
Yes.
Does your dad know you go by Miles?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He asked me if I was still Miles, and I was like, yes.
That's great.
I was doing like an in character bit with my local group of friends, and I almost called myself Miles. I'm slowly
it's working.
Blurring.
It's working.
Like the Green Goblin mask.
The goal.
Yeah. Miles is my Devilman form.
Ooh, I love that.
Devil Miles.
There we go. So yeah, but even like to myself, would I have recommended this to myself? Like, I'm trying to think, like, not outside of the context of a watch club show, honestly, probably not, because just knowing that how frustrated I would have gotten by it, I guess, like by the perspectives that the show pointed, unless someone is here to explain to me why I actually agree with the messaging somehow.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. I don't think we can just like start there, but in my head, I think you had to have misinterpreted something, because the show is not exactly subtle, and the message is sort of inherently positive. So we'll work through it.
I am very curious to see how any message there could have been positive, other than like a general, like,
you don't think war is bad as a positive
racism
message?
That's what I was about to say, Jay. Like, yeah, other than like a general racism bad, war bad, whatever, like, that's okay, cool, but like, go deeper than that, please. That's
what she said. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. All right. It's speaking of going deeper, let's go spoiler. Yeah. Let's go spoilers off, or on rather, going forward. We're such a mature podcast, guys. This is really good.
It's our 21st birthday. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, spoilers going forward. So now let's talk about this show. You guys have been warned. Everyone just dies. What the fuck? Like,
is that's where we're starting?
We're starting.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, the whole point was that's a spoil, whatever. But like, yeah, no. Let's, Miles, take it away. I will eventually snap at some point in this episode talking about all the other stuff, and I think that's when we should, like, I'll try my best to hold out. But once I eventually snap, I think that's when we go into it, because
if you guys looked at the show notes that I sent, I had like a lot of text about themes, so we'll get there. But yeah, so we follow Akira Fudo, who starts off as a relatively normal and maybe a little, I don't know, meek high school boy, known for being a crybaby, hence the name. and he follows his mysterious friend Rio to a party. In it, devil or a demon tries to take over Akira's body, but he is able to fight that and subdues the demon and becomes what is called a Devilman. So it is someone who has like the physical characteristics of a demon. They are, stronger than humans, more primal, etc. But the heart of a human, aka being able to feel love, compassion, etc. Over the course of the show, we see how Akira, deals with this transformation. There's a lot of sort of puberty things going on here with raging hormones and growing up and being stronger and stuff. Over this, we also see Rio doing something. And over time, it's sort of, he's trying to help humanity to save them from the demons per him. So, Akira will fight and kill demons to protect humans. He lives with a foster family with his childhood friend Miki Makamura, who is a star track athlete. So he will protect her from various situations as well. As time goes on, there's a couple other characters who are Devilmen who show up. I can't explain the entire plot, but Rio sort of shows the entire world in a false move, in a lie, basically. Even though it is true that demons exist, he sort of uses his abilities to, which is a thing, to force one of the Devilmen to transform and sort of go into a violent rage, record it, and do all of that. Rio later then finds out he is literally Satan, like the biblical Satan, and decides to destroy the humans. And in order to do that, he causes infighting by lying to the populace about how demons come about, by telling them that people who have issues with society, who are not happy, people who are outcasts, become demons, even though that is not true. And that causes infighting, paranoia, and stuff. And as that increases, humans start killing each other, and this eventually leads to like a full-out war. And eventually, there is a war between the demons and the remaining humans and Devilmen. And at the end, the demons win, and all of the humans are dead. But Rio, who is Satan, feels love and empathy for the first time, and then God blows up the earth and starts everything over again. So that is the basic plot of Devilman Crybaby.
Very positive, very uplifting.
It is, from a certain perspective.
No, fair.
I think I think there are several themes throughout all of this, and I think the most prominent one is sort of a question: what does it mean to be human? You see lots of people ask this question throughout the series, or they comment on what they think humans are. I think this is sort of like sub themed. I don't know. There's like the whole running theme as well, which is, like Rio, for example, questions if running is even a human activity. Like, why do you run? You're a human. Humans' bodies are weak, and people have different answers for why they run. And I think the running is an interesting example of like showing how those primal aspects of demons that can be present in human hearts aren't like inherently negative. Like the physicality and the primal urge to like go and do stuff is not always bad. You see people channel that in a good way. I think there are others examples of this sort of theme too. And I'll let other people talk in half a second, sorry. But like the first episode, right, we go to Sabbath and we see Rio do a bunch of violence in order to like get the demons to come, and we see like sex and stuff everywhere. And that's very clearly villainized by the show, that like violence and that like sort of very lustful sexuality, very, not loving or anything like that. But then later we see those same aspects praised in Akira when he shows up at school as a Devilman, right? Like people like him because he's hot and sexual and fierce and all of that now. So it sort of shows that duality there, which I thought was really neat. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to go here, but does anybody have anything else that they would like to talk about relating to that general theming, or anything else with the early episodes, I suppose.
I guess I could start. That's where one of the things that I kind of disagreed with the show right right off the bat, the way that they talked about like humanity and what you said, what it means to be human. To me, being human is having empathy, is
Mhm.
participating in society and contributing and wanting to be have a positive impact on the people around you and your race, so to speak, right? Like to be like it, be the change you want to see, live by the golden rule, which that Catholic guilt eating away at me, I guess. I don't know, but like those are the general things that I think of when I think of like what it means to be human
Yep.
and why that matters. And that I don't really feel like that message came through in the show. It was not that to me, I felt like, because the demons and devils do not contribute to society. They destroy it and kill
Yeah, but the
and it,
demons aren't human.
okay, right.
Okay.
Okay.
So what does that
So
have?
they shouldn't be celebrated or
They're not. The demons destroy the earth and everyone hates them and they lie.
okay.
They're not viewed as good ever, like throughout the entire show. Yes, but just watched it.
Yeah, I agree with Miles here.
I mean,
It's pretty black and white in terms of that.
I agree with that, but like the whole conflict of the show is that they exist and then cause these issues. So why are the issues things that are generally speaking like it set it up to be like a can they coexist or can they in my eyes at least it felt like they were trying to make a point about how these vices aren't as bad as people seem to think that they are or that these classic Christian things that are viewed as vices or more so than virtues are not bad and not destructive to society then they ended up still being so anyways that I guess that's
What's
one of the,
destructive to society at the end is humans not trusting other humans, right? Like the lack of empathy is what destroys humanity. The not seeing other people, like that's the whole setup, right? Rio sets it up so that people are suspicious of other people and think that those groups, like whatever, we see like homeless people, we see foreigners, there's like a lot of out groups that are highlighted in this are dangerous and that they cannot be trusted. And people buying into that paranoia because things are going poorly is what kills that, right? And you have people, of course, who fight against that, like Miki's entire soliloquy, where she's talking about how we need empathy, we need all of this, right? Miki does not make it, spoiler alert, as everyone dies, but she bites it a little earlier. But part of that theming is that you need everyone. The humans need to all join together. If some portion of us are being hateful to others, then we will not be able to exist if that is a sizable thing that is happening.
but were the humans not justified in their hate and their reaction to
No,
demons
they
like
don't.
that
The humans didn't kill demons. The humans killed humans.
they were the whole point of why they started that conflict though was to kill the demons or to attempt to kill the demons and they were
Yeah, and
involved
did they
in
kill
fighting.
any humans, or did they kill any demons?
I think so, yeah. Like when they
No,
first start I'm
no.
pretty sure they do. Like they do kill them.
They,
They don't succeed often and they're like sitting ducks or ants in a versus like a bigger person, but like like that's what do the cops not kill demons? Like
no.
it,
We see the cops killing humans and devilmen who are humans.
okay. Pretty sure they kill demons though, or
They
and that's
don't.
the whole reason.
Don't they kill the Miki's brother?
That's
I guess it's
the
not
main one I'm
shown,
thinking
but it's
of.
like I'm pretty sure it's like implied that they killed.
Yeah, but he's a devil man.
He's eating a human.
Oh,
He might be a demon. I'm unsure. That's a okay. That is an example. What percentage of humans killing people they think are demons would you say are demons?
Not a large percent, but that's the point. They had gone past the point of no return at that point, and the paranoia was caused by literally Satan himself in this scenario, a literal
Lying
devil,
about who demons were.
right? Because they didn't know any.
Do you see that? Do you see? How
I understand
Okay.
that aspect of the argument. What I don't understand is that how this doesn't reflect poorly on people who are often attributed and oppressed in the same way that the demons or devilman or and how that message is in any way positive towards people who are like feeling oppressed or feeling like that they are not treated properly in society. Like how does that portray that there is hope, that there is that, oh, this is a warning to not like what to not gang think, like I know,
Yes.
again, like just another show that you and I very vehemently disagree on as well, in Shiki. I think that one's a little less ambiguous in terms of like whether the like who's who and like what's whatever, but like the vampires cannot coexist with humans. That's I at least from what we can see in the show, it is established, and that's what the main conflict point. Like in the same way that in this show, demons cannot exist at the same time as humans,
Okay.
and therefore the humans have every right to take every precaution to try and get rid of the demons and the devils. Like, like that.
They don't do that. They don't do any of their own research. They don't figure out what's actually causing their issues. They are told something by one person and they immediately start killing innocent people.
They're told that by one person who is like the head researcher in that field. Like,
what if there was like some sort of president who is a figure of authority who made it a platform in order to disenfranchise and villainize certain groups of people, and a lot of people bought into that? Are those people justified?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
not in murdering, no, but
well,
like if they're
it's the
are they justified in their paranoia?
Honestly, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Like genuinely, I don't understand. And like the existence of humanity is the priority, right? And or it should be, is part of being human, right? It's like wanting to see our species continue and be part of the future. And I just can't imagine like dismissing the idea that it makes sense that this is how people would react if literal devils from religious whatever like just literally just came out of nowhere and were announced and then shown on full display as well, murdering a bunch of track stars. Like the reaction would be almost the same, I feel like, in real life. Like, and maybe not to the degree of just blindly trusting this one person, but the show sets it up that way. And that's where I don't like
their reaction.
They're very justified, like in their reaction.
You think okay, so this is where we differ, right? You think that reaction is justified, and I think that reaction is insane.
Yeah.
I think it's an insane thing to do. I think it is reactionary. I think it is very like it's how oppression happens in real life, where you have authority figures who lie, who set things up in such a way that people are paranoid. It's literally they're eating the cats and the dogs.
Yeah, I would say it's literally happening right now. It's the exact same. It's like the parallels are the same.
But there aren't videos of people actually eating cats and dogs. There aren't. It isn't being broadcast to the. Which, by the way, if you don't know our politics at this point, like this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. This is. I don't see that parallel at all. That's a classic Republican dog whistle that's going on right now, and it's a classic lie that's being peddled by their media, but it is not something that's being picked up by real news, by multiple different agencies and by multiple different, like it has been not unequivocally denied as fact or claimed to be false by any sort of reputable news source which would be the same thing that would happen, I would hope, in this world, if it wasn't for the live broadcast of a demon taking out hundreds of humans in a vicious manner on the front of this, in the front of the entire world watching this track event. Like,
it's an inside job.
We find that out later. Yeah.
Find that out beforehand.
I feel like you find that out in episode 1 when Ryu has a video camera in a club and is setting up this massacre in order to get film footage. Like it's, I get what you're saying, Pat. Like, the difference is, like, they have video proof. Like, it's not like it's different, but the whole thing is like propaganda for Ryu to cause this panic. Like, the whole thing is setting up the example of dehumanizing people and creating panic and causing chaos and like splitting like the sides, because we see that in the show as well. And like, you are villainizing a group of people based off of what literally Satan is telling them. Like, and I feel like it's like the parallels are there. It's the exact same way with what Trump is doing. Like, it's with all the
Republicans pandemic is another thing,
yeah,
right? Like how that was directly attributed to
and
like queer people and everything.
And like, you want to believe the president of the United States. Like, it should be like, on paper, it should make sense that the person who's running the government, you should have your trust in them, but like, that's not always the case. And then we see this in Devilman, where the parallels are the exact same of taking a group of people and essentially witch hunting. Like, Miles, you asked the question of the people that the humans killed, how many of them were demons? If I had to bet an over-under, I would say 1. I would literally put the over-under at 1, because every person that they are killing are humans. Like, the people that are strung up on poles and they're beating them to death with rocks and they're barely breathing and they're not transforming into demons. Pretty obvious that they're not demons, but you know what? They don't care.
Even when you kill a demon, you're still killing a person too, because demons have to have a person's body to have a physical form.
I think it's a little different, because if a demon was attacking me, I would also try to kill it, even if it was a human. In my mind, I wasn't processing that.
If
but
it's self-defense, like, there's a difference.
Yeah, but like,
it's still like, you know, it's a civil war at that point. In a way,
it's the scenes where like Miki is running away and she's scared for her life, and like at any point she could probably turn into a demon and fight back, and then she doesn't. She just dies because she wasn't a demon. And it's like that for all the people that were strung up, all the people that were shot down in the streets. At any point, if they were demons, they're stronger than normal humans. They could fight back, but they weren't. And it's a witch hunt. It's because it's caused by panic. It's caused by paranoia. It's caused by propaganda. And it's haunting. It's chilling, because we're watching it to a lesser extent in real life, and half the country doesn't give a shit. Crazy.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, I agree with that, but that's why I'm just so frustrated by the show, because if it's trying to say that, then why use the certain vices that it used for the demons or for the Devilman, and why have them do?
I think when like I saw you making this point before, like with, you know, having like Coda, who is like openly gay, or not openly, but is a gay man, or that sort of thing. Like people who are sort of like oftentimes on the you know, the edges of society, or marginalized in a way. And I think that that's just really a way for them to show that when it comes to like war, oftentimes people who are on the margins of society are the first like and easiest targets for people. Like, I don't think it's meant to show that like these people are inherently more likely to, you know, get possessed by a demon or whatever. Like, yeah, they might have their individual reasons for why they would have went to Sabbath and had that happen to them, but I mean, there are still plenty of people who are at the Sabbath parties and whatnot that seem, you know, to be like just like your average Japanese citizen or whatever. In the case of who we saw, it's not like it was all just like, you know, a punk scene or whatever.
I think it's important to note too that like we don't see a Devilman hurt a human for a long time, like until post the war starts. I think
no, we don't. We do. We literally see them. We see the demon.
The track and field thing.
Well, that's not under his own will.
Yeah, he
So-
wasn't really a devil man at that point, I guess. It was
But-
more of the demon thing.
But so then, so does that mean like the demons also they aren't acting on their own free will? They're
But the
just doing
demons
what they're
are.
doing to exist.
The demons they have free will. Why do we think that they don't?
Well, because I that's what I think you're trying. Like that's why I don't understand. Because like these demons were like in the first few episodes, right when they first try to take God, what's her name, Mickey, the one that isn't a demon. When they try to abduct her, the demons are using humans as their vessel, as to enact their plan. They have like these
Well, one
underground
of them- so-
societies. They're already there's multiple that are used
Yeah,
and referenced
Okay.
that are doing their thing. And
Okay.
so
So
like
that's
how
not a
are we
devil
not
man, though. How does a devil man? That's not what I said. Demons hurt people all the time. We literally see Rio stab the fuck out of. I guess he's technically an angel. Stab the fuck out of everyone all the time. Like, but a devil man that is different than a demon. That is.
But we only
inherent-
see one devil man in the entire show
we don't.
until the
Miko's
final
the
like
devil.
until
Miko's a
episode
devil man.
5? Yeah, Miko's the devil man.
The other track, the other track guy is like what? Because he like picks a side,
he's a
right?
devil man.
Yeah, but he
yeah.
picks the side of the demons. Yeah,
He does, but he even explains that as in humans judge me, the demons don't judge me. Like I will never be accepted by humans, and so fuck them. Like it's a very rational decision he makes. But we see, so he eventually does hurt people in that episode 9, episode 10 thing, and then of course during that massacre. But again, that was not him. He did not have. Just like someone, spiked you with PCP and you punch someone, it's not your fault.
well, you still go to jail. Like I don't know.
I don't think if you can prove it, no. I would assume no.
I'm also saying I think the little brother was a devil man. He had the eyeliner. That's all you need to be a devil man.
That's all
Just
that's
some
required.
sick eyeliner as a human.
That was a fun twist. To make it clear that I'm not completely just ragging on this show too. That was cool that they hinted at it earlier in the show too by having him like so obsessed with porn and like things like that. Like it's very well hinted and hidden that he eventually does become a devil man or is taken over. Like there are very cool aspects of this show that's why I'm just so frustrated, I guess. And
Yeah, I just don't understand what you're frustrated about though, because frankly, the thing you're complaining about, I just don't think it happens. Like I just don't think it's real.
the main complaint to talk about the main complaint that is spurring all of this discourse in my brain at least towards it is the fact that a lot of the discussion around this show is talking about how it celebrates queer and disparaged groups,
Mhm.
but then it associates them with the devils and the vices by
Why?
nature.
Why and how? Textual evidence.
Pardon me?
Like, what does the show do that does that?
It attributes all lust, any sort of queerness or desire, earthly desire towards being impacted by a devil or having some sort of demon inside of you.
You think the show attributes all sexual desire as negative?
I wouldn't say all, but like whenever it's shown on screen, most of the time it is shown in a not necessarily that the show is saying that it's negative, but it's not in good situations. It's in like crazy public raves, things that generally speaking are not viewed in a positive light by society.
Okay.
Sex out in the open, raping people, like
Okay, and it
they-
says those things are bad.
right, but that
Okay.
is attributed to the oppressed group, which
No,
are the
no, it's not.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's
How?
the entire show is all about how the devil men are not treated with by society.
The Devilmen
Well.
don't do any of those things.
The Ryu rapes another devil.
It's not Ryu.
Sorry,
it's Akira.
well, the devil man version of.
And it's
sorry,
not
am I saying
another.
not Ryu. Sorry, pardon me.
Yeah,
Yes,
Akira.
thank you. I'm mixing up their names. Akira does do that, and it is and Mickey, the fake Mickey,
Miko.
Yeah. She does she preys upon I believe it's Cocoon at one
What?
point as well. She literally eats him.
What?
They show his body. They show his like feet in the doorway because he
That's her
ate.
dead grandma. Her grandmother died.
Is that's what happened in that scene?
Yeah,
Not
remember
her.
she was taking care of the grandmother? It was showing that she didn't care anymore. The grandmother had died and she didn't bother doing anything about it.
Okay. But is it not shown that Cocoon dies shortly after getting close to her?
They go to Sabbath where people die all the time. She lives, he dies.
I'm sorry. I'm still not understanding how that doesn't reflect poorly on her though, and reflect poorly on.
What's her grandma gonna do with the body, huh?
No, not the grandma thing. Not the grandma
Okay.
thing. Whatever.
You
Like,
would also leave your
actually,
grandma
yes.
in that
No,
situation.
yeah, apparently I would leave my grandma there in the situation too. Yeah, no, obviously I would. Yeah, totally. No, I don't know. I
Like if we go to a party together, me and you, Pat, right? And I die, I get murdered, and you don't get murdered. Does that reflect poorly on you?
that's
It
such
could.
a non sequitur
It
conversation.
kinda could. It
That's
kinda
That is
the
could.
whole
totally non
scenario.
sequitur. She brings him to the party, knowing what Sabbath is. Does she not?
No, she doesn't. She-
clue.
That's her first
Was she
time
not already
there.
a devil woman
No!
at that point?
No.
No, that happened at Sabbath. There's this giant physical change in her.
Yeah,
I thought
you
she was
notice
already
everybody-
infected by the devil at
No.
that point.
No, the whole point of being a devil man is the devil doesn't infect you. It just gives you hotness.
You went over
You just
it.
become hot.
It's like Chainsaw Man. It's like
Yeah,
Chainsaw
It
Man.
doesn't help me in any way, unfortunately. But I understand like the winning it over part. I
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Imagine if Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Just got to be cool and tall and confident all the time without the Pharaoh taking over him. Like that's unironically
yeah,
what
that's
it
exactly
is.
what it is.
but but also Mickey
But then he
is
can
still,
turn into Obelisk the Tormentor as well.
yeah, apparently, yeah. But Mickey or Miko is still like malicious in her intent, and after that as well,
Man,
they're
She's not.
Example,
She doesn't
She's
kill
not.
anybody.
he kills a guy who's raping her.
True.
That does
Oh
happen.
yeah, that's right. She blows his head off. Yeah.
Well, she like thigh bursts
Yeah,
him
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. He had a gun. Sorry,
Yeah,
he had the gun to her head. But yeah.
Yes. Then she
And-
blows her head off later.
and the whole point is that she wants to be better, right? And that's how she like wins over the devil, I guess, right? Is that she wants more than the devil wants to take over her to be better than Mickey and to be seen as equal or better than Mickey.
That's why she runs. Yes.
And that's what, right. But it's like she has those murderous intents still. Like she doesn't act on them, I guess. So cool. But like she still talks about it, I'm pretty sure, or at least
No.
it's implied that she wants to beat her by any means necessary. Like you're saying no. I don't know. I just watched this a week ago, man. I feel like it does.
Like I get like how you interpret things, but that's not what happens. Like you're just misinterpreting it. Like that's what it is.
Like I guess like what the whole thing with Miki Kureda, I think she deserves to be called Miki by the end. Right? You see her watering her flowers, right? And then after this transformation, she has stopped watering the flowers. The flower is dying. The flowers are snapdragons. Snapdragons are symbolic of deception and of like elegance and stuff. So for her, she has these negative emotions inside of her, right? She has a lot of jealousy, things that can be associated, of course, envy, right? Sin, with demons, etc. But she channels this positively. She's not perfect by any means. She is bitter at times, but she is someone who, like, she never, she doesn't do anything that's not like a normal high school girl intimidating another high school girl to Miki. She never thinks like, I'm going to kill Miki or anything like that. She never tries to do anything like that. She just wants to be the fastest, wants her name back. She's upset that someone in her friend group usurped her and is the center of attention and no one cares about her accomplishments. And so she channels that negative emotion of jealousy and envy into a positive thing of being the reason why she runs in an attempt to gain something to make herself better. That is the idea there. Like she I mean, she kills herself before she's forced to kill another human. Like, I don't know. She's not particularly violent. She's cocky. She's not like she's perfect or anything, but she's not a bad person by any means.
Yeah, she goes out of her way to save the other Miki. Like,
Well, that's the whole growth of her character, right? At the end, is that she eventually grows to want to do that. And like cares about saving the world, I guess, or however we would want to like phrase it. And okay, so then to continue, I guess, where I am frustrated. How is this in any way a positive message about? How is this not a nihilistic ending to have the world literally end because Satan and because they couldn't stop Satan, and there we go, world's end. Oh, but it restarts. But it's like
You think
fuck
Braveheart
off,
is
in
a
my
sad
opinion.
ending? Like, is Braveheart nihilistic?
I haven't seen Braveheart. Sorry,
Okay. Is Gladiator nihilistic?
I haven't seen Gladiator.
Oh my
Sorry.
god. Okay. Okay. This is my bad.
Well, Gladiator, he wins.
Is the ending
loses.
of the first part of Naruto nihilistic?
Is
You
that
mean
an
like
equivalent?
the end of when you mean like when Sasuke is
When
like
Sasuke's
lost?
standing all gaily over Naruto? I can say it.
Like the first part, is it like between before the time skip? You're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Naruto, not Shippuden.
I don't know if I would call that nihilistic. No, I don't know.
Even though Naruto got his ass beat and his friend left, it's kind of hopeful because he's like, I'm gonna get him.
He lost, but he didn't. The world didn't end, and
if it starts over again, right, and humanity gets another chance to do this again, right? But this time you have Satan not being evil because of the.
I don't necessarily know if I agree he's not going to be evil.
He's at the very least learned emotion and empathy, right? Like he starts crying, he figures out what love is. It's like the whole antithesis of his being. I think there's a good chance.
I think Psycho Jenny is gonna fuck him up again, bro.
Maybe.
If I'm being honest.
But like, it's not a happy ending. I'm not going to pretend it's a happy ending. Everyone fucking dies. But like, the point is, at the end, the human spirit is what lives on. It makes it. The empathy, the feeling, the not primal parts of us, the parts of us that care, are what last. Right? That is the ending. So we, even in the face of us destroying ourselves, the human will is able to continue. Like it is passed on like a baton pass to Rio. That is why they had that very on the nose scene of everyone handing a baton to each other and then Rio not picking it up. That's the deal there, because at the end Rio picks up the baton because of what he has shown from humans in Akira. He was proven wrong. If you want to say that as a hollow victory, sure. But in my head, convincing literal Satan that human life matters and that love is a thing is a big accomplishment.
Well said.
Thank you.
I mean, I disagree, but fair enough.
Okay.
Like I agree with what you said. I understand what you mean. I don't see how that's still a victory in any way, though, because humanity is dead.
But does it need to be a victory? Like, I don't understand. It's a warning, right? Like, it's saying if we keep killing ourselves, we'll die, is basically what it says, right? If we keep, like, what stops you from being a human isn't what your body is. That's like a huge point in this, right? You have like the body of a devil, heart of a human, right? What is it to be human, right? As Miki says that with a gun to her head, like, what is justice? What is love? And like, these people are attacking her because of what she looks like, not anything she did. So you stop being a human when you stop viewing other humans as human, is like a major theme in this, right? That is what the issue is. So as long as you view your other humans, as you said, with empathy and stuff, that is what we need to do, because we see at the end here the results of not doing that, and it's we all fucking die. And that is bad. As you have pointed out, it's positive in the sense that it is something to avoid.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I wanted a deeper message than that then, to me. Like, that's after the show, like, I was unsatisfied then, that it was like, it felt like it was going something very profound, and to me that fell flat. I mean, again, maybe to everybody else, if everyone else feels it was, fair enough, but to me that like, war is bad. Wow. Congrats. You know, like,
it's not war. No. It's not just war.
Or oppression is bad. Sorry. Okay. Like, cool. You know, like, that's how it resonated to me. Or like, oh, don't be a bad person, or like the end will come. Like, I don't know. And again, I guess you could dumb down any story and make it sound like that. At the end of the day, like, that's how it resonated to me, at least in the moment of watching it and being like, how is this going to end? What are they going to overcome the adversity? Are they going to change Ryu's mind or Satan's mind? Are they going to have anything happen? And then it just lands with, surprise, the world has ended. And
Ryu's mind, what happened? The thing you asked for
they changed his mind. It's just too late, but he changes his mind. Like, he realizes his mistake, but it's too late. Like, he fucked up, and sometimes maybe there's another theme. Sometimes you fuck up and it's too late. And that's what happened. I guess I'm still chiming because I haven't talked in a minute. I think that there are multiple ways to interpret what the story is telling you. And I think that I do think in some ways the story can get convoluted, because the first time that I watched it, I did pick up on a lot of the themes and the messages that the story was trying to send, but I did miss some of the stuff with like the LGBT stuff and some of like the discrimination. So I do think that the story can get convoluted at points, but I don't think it's necessarily like I guess like what I'm trying to think of was like, they're there for a reason, to send the message, and like that's what the story was trying to tell us in their own way. This is what the Devilman story way is. It's like, you know, inside of us there are demons. Like, we're fighting our demons inside of us, and how you choose to handle your demons is sort of like one of the big takeaways that I got from the story. So like, yes, you saw it with like, you know, people at Sabbath taking out their demons in the form of sex, alcohol, drugs. They mentioned like gambling, violence, like there's all this stuff. But then there are people who fight their demons in a I'll just say, I don't know, a non-rated R way. You know, like Miko is fighting her demons by trying to be a better athlete. Like, she thinks that if she can beat Miki in a race, she can beat the demon inside of her, because she never felt like she was enough. She always was compared by somebody who was better than her. So it's like, that's my biggest thing that I took away from it, was how people fight their demons. But at the same point, the people's demons that they have inside their body are a real thing in real life, and they damage people, they hurt societies, they hurt demographics, they hurt like so many people. And it's like, the message that I took away from it was, the people who take their demons and put it in a way that is harming others will cause, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Like, that can be a metaphor. When people say, oh, it's the end of the world, my life is over, like, you know, it's not literally the end of the world. But in some aspects, it's like, you see parts of their life crumbling, and you see parts of their life falling apart. And I mean, that's what we see, and it's how people use their demons for whatever uses that they want. And like, I think that's like a beautiful message. Maybe not beautiful is the right word, but I think it's a powerful message. I think it's an important message to send out to people, and to say that in the way that Devilman did it, because there are people, I mean, like, literally witch hunts existed. They were a thing. People thought they were witches. They would just kill them, and then they would die, and then they weren't witches, because that's silly. Why would they be witches? And I know we just see
great parallel.
Yeah, and we just see it now with, I mean, it's so on the nose right now, especially how I'm viewing it, is like how people are viewing illegal immigrants as something subhuman. Like they're not real people. And like that's obviously it's not to the extent the extreme as like how Devilman did, but there are people who literally view them as subhuman. Like it's crazy, and it's like it's polarized. It's the propaganda is like everywhere in the United States. It's insane, and like it's just how I don't know. I just think it's so cool how Devilman portrays these themes and these messages that we are seeing in real time. So
like I guess that again that's where I get stuck. That you mentioned it earlier, and I was going to chime in, but you are right about the immigrant point. Like that's how people are talking about them now, and it kind of shows in this show. The reaction to the demons is there because of what they do to people and what they do to society. That's how they react to them, because they are bad for society. And that's where that's where I'm frustrated by the show, because if the demons weren't destructive to society and then the show showed them as still being oppressed or still being
the demons are not oppressed.
Yeah, we see
they are not shown as oppressed,
and we see the entire society existence of humans have been living with demons since man. That's the like they learn to take different forms, and we've lived with demons the entire time. Like the whole point is Ryu essentially starting the apocalypse. This is the third impact.
The majority of the demons we see too, and I think this is important, are high up government officials, like military people, like that photographer piece of shit. They're privileged people. We don't like the demons aren't masquerading as the homeless people that we see or whatever. They're all just normal people. For example, like Kunkun's whole group, right, that has like the whole profiling thing from the cops. None of them are portrayed as demons, right? But the show shows an obvious, thing for them. So they're not even Devilman. There's nothing to conflate there, but like they're clearly being discriminated against. Same with Miki, who is the world's nicest human, who, there are multiple scenes multiple where people, bully her and then inevitably kill her because she is a foreigner. And again, 100% a human. These groups aren't, the show does not tie demons to these disparaged groups. It separates them pretty strongly.
Yes.
If you think about it, like a big part of it is literally that they didn't know how to do this without Rio living with the humans. Like demons just, they don't have a natural inclination to, like they're not inclined to like do this sort of thing. It's like a wholly human strategy, and Psycho Jenny comments on that and says we're using the human, like turning the humans against each other by using the things only you could have learned. Like the demons, what they're doing is it's like parallel to what's going on with the humans killing each other.
Yeah.
Like they would have done it probably regardless in their own way, but this makes things much easier for them. It's less work for them whenever humans are, killing each other as well.
Yeah. So like the one thing is like when Ryu is in the club in episode 1, he talks about how the demons just won't come out. Like you have to provoke them. Ryu radicalizes the demons. Like they have been living in society all the time, but they never were like, the world. They were a world dominating force, but not in like the physical sense of like eating people. They were like Miles said, powerful figures, rich people. Like they were controlled. They're the Illuminati essentially, but like re-radicalize them to take this new form. And you know what? Another parallel, even though I know this has always existed, like Ryu made MAGA, like straight up. Like Ryu is Donald Trump, like 100%. He radicalized like the Republicans in such a way where it's like not necessarily like, I don't know, like it's like racism is like brushed under the rug now.
We literally see him having like the street gangs roaming around in all white and shit looking for people, which is like, that's just Charlottesville type shit right there, honestly.
And so it's like one of those things where like the demons were always with us. They were just being demons in like their own way, I guess I would put it. And then they got radicalized by Trump.
Yeah, I think another thing to point out too, that first Sabbath party, right? People are having sex and like doing some like, moderately frowned upon things. There's drugs and sex and alcohol and all that jazz going on. And that doesn't bring the demons in. So Rio murders a bunch of people, right? That was the bad thing. The thing that brought them in was all of the murder, not the sex or anything. That's, like.
Yeah, because if sex, drugs, and alcohol were a demon thing, then I'm a fucking demon right now, baby. Minus the sex, but Thank you, Pat, for laughing at my joke. Nobody else laughed. That was funny.
Yeah.
Man, fuck y'all.
Honestly, like
That joke was
sometimes when
funny.
you hear the truth, you just have to accept it.
Yeah, I know, but like, can I get a pity laugh? Come on, it's my birthday. Thank you, Jay. That was such a lot.
There's another point I think, Pete, you were making about like how you deal like with your like inner demons or whatever. And I think Taro, the child who becomes like a devil man or a demon or whatever and eats his mom, isn't. I thought this was a good example. This is something that I only caught on like this watch through because I was wondering what the point of that scene was, and I think it's sort of that repressing whatever is going on with you is not going to be helpful because that's how the mom decides to deal with it, to seclude him from society, to take him away from his family, and to be like, just resist this, whatever you're feeling, as opposed to working through it in some way that is manageable, So, like, instead of bringing him to therapy or whatever, really everyone just needed therapy. But I thought that was pretty interesting, and I thought that sort of highlights some of your points as well there.
I'm just still very frustrated because like I'm getting what you guys are saying, but then I like the show just didn't feel like that at all for me. A lot of what you guys are saying, it didn't feel like that's what I was watching, and again the ending, I'm still like trying to work my way through it mentally and see it in a positive light. But I'm sorry, I'm really struggling there.
It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Like I don't know. It's not happy. Like I'm not gonna like. It's a bummer ending. It is a downer. It is unfortunate, and it sucks because the reason I think it sucks so much is because that ending feels attainable in a way. Like, what is the most likely way that humanity dies? We probably kill ourselves, sort of deal. Like that's a pretty, prominent thing. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Jay. You were saying something.
It's not a problem at all. I was just gonna say that I think, the side cast in this is really solid, and it made me sad to see them die, if I'm being real, especially Wamu and his gang. Like, they really grew on me, especially Johnny Young Bosch voicing Wamu.
Wamu hit me pretty hard this time. I don't think I ever really paid attention to him before, but what I liked about him is that they sort of dress him as someone who would be kind of like a playboy and maybe like try to take advantage of Miki or whatever. And you can tell that he is interested in her, but he just sort of like picks up that she's in love with Akira and like is like, that's cool. Like you do that. I'm still here to like support you as a friend sort of vibe. And I thought that was pretty cool. I liked how that entire group of people was portrayed positively, despite them being sort of social outcasts in a way.
Yeah, I think it was done really well. The rapping was really solid too. I enjoyed that aspect of it quite a bit. Really, I think that was one of the changes from the source material that I enjoyed the most, actually, because in the original manga, it's just sort of like, your typical, like, hooligans who are in that place, and, they're fine or whatever, but I think that they really kind of were elevated by this and were one of the more underrated parts of the show, in my opinion, and when you look at online discussion.
Yeah, I think that this is my third time watching it, and like they're definitely an aspect that I grew to appreciate more as I watched it again. Because they are a relatively minor part, and there's like a lot to focus on that isn't them. But
I don't like how nothing any of the main characters do matters or changes things in the end. And again, I guess you're going to argue with me, which is fair based on the perspective that you guys have, that they do change because he changes his mind at the end or he gains empathy or something at the end. But I that's still not resonating with me where that's like
but
it was
okay,
worth it.
Are you just
in the
you just
outcome.
didn't like that it was a sad ending?
No, not at all.
Like if they just like battled and beat the shit out of each other and then they both lived, well, like would that be
or
better?
both died, or I don't
The
know, like
ending of Naruto Shippuden.
yeah.
they do.
There
both
we
die.
go. Good callback, Jay. Well, Satan doesn't.
Well, Satan doesn't die, but all the
Well,
demons
yeah,
die.
I mean Akira's chopped in half. Like
I
if
think all
Akira
the
had
demons will be
both
fine.
parts of his body, would you like this better?
No, I think I would like it better if it wasn't just. Oh well, the world ended, but all right, cool. Akira gained, or not Akira, Satan ended or gained empathy, and now when the world restarts or whatever, power of God and whatever,
So
that's he's learned a lesson for next time
So-
or something like.
what I would compare this to is something like global warming, where by the time don't twist my words, but say if global warming ends the world, okay? And then we all realize like, damn, we probably shouldn't have done all that shit that caused global warming. You're probably in the back of your mind, if you were like, say you were a denier, you're probably gonna be like, you know what? I was wrong. I probably shouldn't have done this. But you know what happens? We go away, but the world doesn't. Like we're just gone. The world, they're gonna restart. We're just gonna be gone. And like that's what I took away from it, where it's like it's too late, but we're restarting. And we might not be gone, but the world's still there. Earth is still there. We're just not there.
This is great. And Pete, I just love that we've gotten to a spot where you've defended this ending.
Okay. I don't like this show because it makes me sad. Like I don't think it's bad. I actually think it's incredible. I just don't like feeling sad.
So one of the themes and one of the earliest themes that I took from this, Pat, is that there are no heroes, right? Akira is a human. And this is what Miki talks about in her thing. She says, we all need to do this together. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to be empathetic towards people. And, she reaches out and she says, I need all of you to do that too. That's another central message of this, is that we all need to do that. All of us need to treat other people with empathy. We need to, consider all of these things that we agree on is like the nature of being human. And so like they don't though, and it doesn't matter how many, how hard the heroes try, how hard the people who are trying to do the right thing tries. It doesn't matter if everyone doesn't join in on them with them, like as long as some percentage of people are holding that hate in their heart and are suspicious and blaming other people for things that are not their fault and victimizing groups, those people are still going to be hurt. Humans are still going to be hurt. It's like if 50% of the world is tolerant and 50% of the world is intolerant, everyone's still fucked. There is a ratio you need there. And it, again, doesn't do this in the happiest way possible, but it shows the result of people not joining in on that cause, which is we destroy ourselves because we hate each other for reasons that are immaterial ultimately. When there is hardship, we blame groups that are not responsible for that hardship, and so it's a threshold thing. We need enough people to do this so that it happens. And then the positive part of this, right, is despite this happening at the end, there are still humans fighting for humanity. So despite all of our horrible flaws, our ability to ostracize people and alienate people, which is pretty redundant on my part, but like the whole hating other people thing, though even the people who are hated still fight for humanity. They still believe in humans. Not all of them, which is bound to happen, right? We see that with Coda, but enough people, still saw it so that if the people who weren't in those groups would have joined them quicker and faster and supported them, then this would not have happened. And that's sort of the message to take from it, and there's more stuff here, and it's not the world's deepest thing. It didn't solve the problem. It's not like hidden within Devilman Crybaby is the answer to how to get everyone to get along. But what is in Devilman Crybaby is what happens if we don't. So get to it, figuring out how to do it, more or less, is my sort of view.
I don't know. I don't know how to respond. Like I can see that perspective. I do, but like I guess I get frustrated because the existence of the devils or the demons in the first place is antagonistic towards humanity's existence and success, right? As long as a devil does exist, the humans will not be in a good spot. The humans will eventually be wiped out or be exterminated, and not in that specific way or in the moment where they kill themselves. However, the way that the humans react towards the devils is at least somewhat justified to me, in the sense that they were trying to do the right
devils
thing.
or the demons. This is important. This is a distinction.
The demons that are not, and I guess the devil men that are not like Coda, who decide to not just, I guess, coexist, like the people that are actively being detrimental to society and that eventually end up helping Satan once once his master plan is fully revealed and done.
Those are demons, though, not humans.
But they blend
Right.
in, and they're so my point is, like, if but they put themselves into humans, or they try to blend in with the humans, right?
Okay.
That's how they
Yeah.
So the reaction to try to get rid of them, I guess my point is that they I think that if the story had it where the vices, even it could even keep the vices the same way, but if you didn't make it where the devils inside of people were causing them to kill people, or or leading to them, in the perception of people being needed to be wiped out because they are impacting the human race and going to lead to our extinction, then the human race wiping themselves out, trying to get rid of them, would echo a little bit more as a message that actually means something to me.
Who
Where,
causes the
like,
problems in real life, though? It's the humans, right? Like, we cause our own problems.
yeah, but it's shown that the devils exist and or demons, pardon me, exist and are part of the reason that those problems are
And what?
happening.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you
Like
think?
the president is a demon,
Yeah.
apparently, and
Yes.
launches the nukes, right? That completely wipe out North America at the start, right?
Okay.
Or is that Rio who does that? I really don't
It's
fully
not the
understand
president,
that
but
either. Either way, like
the
it's
war, the
implied,
general, yeah.
it's implied that, like, that's the start of the real. That's when full chaos breaks out,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
When
he shoots a bunch of nukes, and then God stops
Yeah,
him.
God's like,
None of the nukes land, but
halt, peasants.
but yeah, so like, if like, I feel like there's a little, like, your flaw is that the demon, like, the reaction to the demons is justified, right? Because there is something negative. Now, this is true to real life, where problems that are not minority groups' fault are blamed on minority groups. Like,
Right.
the
No, I'm
German
agreeing with you
economy.
here. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
great, great,
okay.
great, great.
But
Okay.
that's where the demons are to blame for the lot of the things that happen, which is
Okay,
why I am
so
frustrated
in real
that
life,
it's projecting it.
okay, so in real life, who are the demons?
Are you trying to get me canceled? Like,
No, I'm
no,
not.
I'm
I'm like,
kidding.
okay, let's see. Yeah, like,
No,
okay,
but you
like,
know what I mean. Like, but like that's my point, is that in
Wait,
real life,
wait.
people perceive certain groups of people as the demons, right? But like my point is, in the show, if they weren't actually demons, not just in a literal sense, but actually having this negative impact, the humans wouldn't be justified in feeling that way, even if they did it, and in the show, which they end up doing anyways. And then that message of, hey, humanity is going to kill itself if you're stupid, or which again, that's just me paraphrasing and not what you said, but like, like that's what that message would reign much more like well on my ears, because like I don't know, like who are the demons in our society? Like, I don't know, let's say murderers,
it's the same
right?
demons in this show.
It's not. It wouldn't be like. Okay, this is going to be a risky thing. You're a German in 1935, normal German citizen. Okay,
2 years after Hitler. Yep.
Yeah, you are. I would say 32. Is that better? Right before.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. You are upset about the economy because it fucking sucks. That is a justified thing to be upset about, right? You are upset that life is hard and decisions have been made. Now, a certain mustachioed man comes up and says, "You know whose fault this is? The Jews. It's the Jews' fault." Are you justified to then believe that and act against the Jews?
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Please do not think on this. The answer is no.
well, no shit. The obvious answer is no. But if there was evidence that is what was happening,
they presented
they
evidence.
presented
they falsified evidence.
Fake evidence.
That's what happens in the show.
No, so it does happen. But the point is, we, the omnipotent viewer, know that evidence is doctored in that scenario, but overall is correct.
Okay,
the demons are negative to society versus, again, and also anyone who was educated properly in the 1930s would have understood that the real reason the German economy was all fucked up was because of the leftovers from World War I, and that, like, any logical person, and then of course, like you said, the groupthink is what took over. Hitler won. Groupthink took over, paranoia, and then suddenly Holocaust. That I understand the gotcha here. I get it. That's not what I'm saying, though.
It is a gotcha. Like, it's what happens in the show.
Yeah.
But in the show, it would be like if the Jews in the show had actually been controlling stuff behind the scenes and leading to people dying. Like that's not a
demons or Hitler. The demons are Hitler, Pat. Hitler is the demon. He is pulling the strings. He is making people fight the outgroups. He is the demon. He is Satan. That's what Satan does in this show. He sets up multiple scenarios of falsified evidence to paint devils and devilmen as evil, and then uses that to justify the fact that people are demons, which is not how it works.
Right, but the demons are bad, and they are already
and Hitler
negatively
was bad and negatively impacted the world. Do you disagree with that?
That's not what I'm arguing.
Okay,
the human reaction to the fact that the demons are bad and they thought that they should get rid of them was justified based on them understanding, that the demons had negatively impacted society and were hurting them.
Okay. So the negative aspects of society, the demons, right? Like World War I, the treaties that were drawn at the end there, like how unfair that was to, like, how much that would just absolutely cripple a group of people, right? I don't know enough about it. I just assume it's unfair because we stopped doing things like that in World War II.
We didn't, but yeah, like, I don't know, we just didn't cripple they went into a recession, especially because they were forced to pay for all the reparations and the repairs for the entire continent of Europe, and that destroyed their economy.
Okay.
And
so there's like this group of people, right, that is causing the strife. This is negative. These negative effects are real, right? Ergo, the demons are real. Then the demons tell the people this group are the demons, and they're not the demons, but they make it look like it. And then everyone goes crazy because they're already scared little animals and they need someone to blame because life is bad. And so they start attacking people who are not the demons because the demons told them they were the demons, right? That is what happens in this show and the real life metaphor is there.
Right, but they attacked the wrong group. Okay. That's fine.
Yes.
They were right to try to fight back.
Okay, so in theory, fighting back or doing something to help the economy is good, right? The Holocaust is bad. The humans did the Holocaust, which is bad.
Yes. Okay. So, I don't think that this is a perfectly fair comparison, though. I think that's where I get what the allegory you're trying to draw here, but like, and I understand as well. Ryu clearly falsified information and then pit the humans against each other while also welcoming the demons out. The demons they knew the demons existed partly because of because Ryu blew it out there, but the demons were still negatively impacting society. So like someone trying to stop them would make sense versus
they just didn't kill any demons. They killed humans instead. Just like
but they were trying to, and that's what and that's why the message of like
it's not inherently good to try to fix wrongs if you do it in a shitty way. We have established that.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Then that's what happens in here. They try to fix the wrong in a shitty way.
They try to, but it's the only way possible because they are going to eventually be wiped out by the demons in the reality of the world. They will eventually. All right, let's use Shiki. Do you think that town in Shiki survives, or do you think they all?
This is not Shiki.
Do they all? No,
spoilers for Shiki, by the way.
I guess fair enough. Like we've talked about it in the show, but spoilers still for Shiki for the next 30 seconds. Do they all become vampires or do they not? Like, or if they don't address the problem, if they don't attempt to address the problem, do they eventually get wiped? Does humanity get wiped out or not? Like that's the way I would look at it.
Become devils though, or demons. They don't become demons. We don't see that.
They get infected by them, and they taken
happen.
over.
When does that happen? There's one example. It's specifically that ooze demon who takes over the guy's body, but his mind is still intact.
So then he doesn't have control though. Like when he's being taken over and when he's talking, there are the people that he interacts with are implied to be people that were taken over by demons.
Yeah, we're getting way off topic. And
I know, yeah.
But that is on top. Like that is what
you're talking about. Shiki. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
No, we're talking
about.
I got lost in the fucking sauce.
The point is that demons aren't multiplicative in the way that vampires are, and therefore.
But they exist, and they are continuing to go person by person and wipe out humanity eventually. Like, so that
how many
is there.
People who would you say the majority of people we see get killed are killed by in this show?
We don't even really necessarily know if they're going to wipe the humans out, though. Is the thing?
I don't think
we don't. But I think that is a safe assumption when they are demons that are
or something.
Well, sorry, I don't want to be enslaved. I don't want humanity to be enslaved, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's it's a perfectly normal reaction to be like, no, that shouldn't be, like, we should try to stop this. And again, that doesn't dispute your message that, oh, well, we fucked up, whatever. That falls on deaf ears to me because they could have done it where, hey, don't oppress people, don't pick on marginalized groups. Yes.
That's what happens.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I get it.
Okay.
Thank you. Like, you could have that without them being the actual burden on society.
They're not.
Like,
I don't know how
they absolutely are. They literally fuck up society. Demons fuck up society.
Demons are marginalized people, Pat. They're not marginalized people. The show doesn't show them as marginalized people. It never happens.
It makes
every demon lives in BoJack Horseman's fucking mansion in this show. They're not oppressed,
but the second that they are found out to exist, they become oppressed, and they become targeted, and they cause all this strife. Like that's
the demons. The demons are not targeted.
They can turn invisible.
They are targeted though. Once Ryu makes it apparent that they exist, they try to make them out to be targets.
Who do they kill? Who do those mobs kill?
They kill a lot of humans by accident, yes, because they're dumb and they were misinformed, and again, they are justified in the sense that they should be what they're trying to do. Their actions are not like again, like, oh wow, great, Nazis are bad, great. Like again, like this is another one, like great. That's not that doesn't feel that like crazy of a message though. Like,
but your point is that it makes the opposite message, that it's saying that marginalized groups are the cause of all of this issue, when it says no, the people who are in charge, the people who like control narratives and stuff, are who make you target marginalized groups. Rio gives a speech about how marginalized groups are demons when he knows they are not demons, and he knows that's not how demons come about. So that people who are already paranoid of these marginalized groups because of how society works will get even more paranoid and start killing them. And then we see them do that. We see them, like how often is Akira shot when he's doing nothing? Because he looks like a demon. He's protecting people, right? They're shooting at him. They're throwing rocks at him. They're doing all that junk, right? Miki, because she is a foreigner, gets murdered. Like, we see this happen. The marginalized groups are victims of the other humans and not of marginalized humans.
She's murdered because she's believed to be affiliated with a demon, as well as, but she is shown as oppressed earlier in the show.
Isn't she a foreigner? That's like part of the text that comes up when they're talking about killing her.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. So that doesn't help her. But like, she also is literally shown to affiliate and defend the Devilman, who they at the time view as the devils. So that's why they killed her, because they were like, oh, maybe she's infected. Maybe, like, again, and I'm not saying that that's the right reaction to that, but that is why they did it. And
yeah, and it's bad, right? That is bad to do that.
To just kill someone because they were affiliated with someone else, yes.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad we got there.
Like, I don't know. Again, I
don't know. Like, that the show is saying that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, and the show is not saying that she deserved it, right?
No.
Okay. So how is the show saying that she is the cause of what is happening?
That's not what I said.
That is okay. I think we're just talking.
I don't think that's what I said.
Can we please just? We've done this for an hour.
Yeah, we'll have to move on.
We're not convincing Pat. It's fine. It's
I don't know. I'm sorry. All right. Guess should we do closing thoughts? I don't think I'm being difficult. I'm asking questions. I don't know. Like,
okay. I'll just explain the frustration is that your points have sort of changed. One, between the message is not particularly deep, which fair enough, I agree. And two, that the show portrays marginalized people as demons, right? It doesn't do that. And I keep trying to give examples of how not, but you keep getting hung up on the fact that demons exist. Demons exist in this show. They also exist in the analogy that the show is making in real life. They are the people who don't view other people as people, who other people. That's who the demons are. And they tell scared people to not trust other groups, and then they go and, we get what we have. And we see what happens on the show, and we can see what happens when that happens in real life. That is what's happening. The marginalized groups in this are mostly humans, some devilmen. As far as I know, not really any actual demons, and they suffer at the hands of humans because of what the demons say.
Right.
Okay. We agree, though. Good.
I guess. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'll save it for closing thoughts.
Pete, I know you had something you want to talk about too.
Well,
it was a long episode.
Yeah, I don't know.
I apologize. I don't know. I wanted to get that sorted out, and I just don't think we're going to be able to. So.
No, we're not. I just want to touch on the fact that in episode 9, that there was a scene that stood out to me like more than anything is when the Devilman was protecting the humans and they were throwing rocks and stuff like that, and it's the kids that go up to the Devilman to like give him a hug. And like, to me, it's like what it represents is like, like hate is like taught. Hate is told by like elders and it's told to the kids that you should not like a specific group of people, and then it grows from like it's like a fucking seed, and it grows, and that's how like the hatred continues to get bigger and bigger as you get older. And then these kids are like, this is their first time experiencing it. I feel like they're not like taught hate, and they see this and they're like, no, this is wrong. Like, and they're the ones that have the mindset to be like, what we're doing is incorrect. And then the adults start like picking up on it and realizing like they're at fault. So I thought that scene was super impactful, super powerful. I absolutely adored it. And I just want to give a shout out to that episode.
You rewatched it?
Yeah, I rewatched the whole thing.
Okay. I thought you said you skipped 9.
I skipped
the end.
I watched the first half of 9. I would skip the second half of 9.
That's super fair. Yeah. That's good. Jay, do you have any other scenes or things you want to get at?
Nah, not really. I really enjoyed the soundtrack in this show. I think that was a high point of it for me. Like every time they had the like club music with the Gregorian chants over it, I was like, oh hell yeah, bro. I was jigging a bit, so I was enjoying that. But all in all, I think that, I just enjoyed the show overall. So.
The music was great.
It was good. Actually, it was pretty good.
I could talk about the art a little bit. Like I thought it was avant-garde and in an interesting way, at least, where like other shows that look like this, I get very bothered by or get annoyed by. But I thought that it certainly helped this show in terms of how it looked and helped with the horror aspect as well. It made a lot of the body horror and things that happen in it a little bit easier to like not just stand out, I guess, as much as it might in a show that looks a lot more regular. I thought that the animation and the fights were really good. Shout out Johnny. I think he's kind of right. There are a couple scenes where I was like, is my screen dark or something? Like I just can't see what's going on, and it was very
contrast.
Like it was like it was which was frustrating to me because like it didn't like I get what they're trying to do, but it didn't really work for me in that sense, like in those specific scenes. But like it also not shout out Johnny. It only happens like twice in the show, so it's not that big a deal. Is the way I guess I would look at it.
Better than the long night from Game of Thrones for sure.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Like shit like that drives you nuts, right? Like that's how I felt watching it. But again, that happens in like 2 scenes. And granted, one of them is a very, very important scene in like his fight against what was the Selan or whatever, the Siren. Why does Mal just say the names of characters wrong or have
the L is just a R, and L is the same thing in Japanese. That's why. So instead of Silene, it's Siren.
Fair enough. Interesting. All right. But yeah, so like that fight, like it's like I can't see what's going on in like 2/3 of the fight, which sucked, and I was annoyed by, and it felt like it was cutting corners. But I get it was trying to do stylistic things, but then make it better. I don't know. Like you know what I mean? Like I can't see it, so I can't judge it. But yeah, the style was really cool though.
Okay, great. Well, this reminds me of the last episode of Seinfeld where they're sitting in a prison cell and one of them says, well, at least we learned something along the way. The other one looks at him and says, no, we didn't. And then the show ends. I don't know if we made any movement, but I had fun nonetheless.
I can see your perspectives a lot clearer now. I'm just still not making that final connection, but maybe we'll get there someday. I don't know. I don't really want to think about this show anymore, to be honest with you, though. I found it frustrating to consume, and then talking about it to be pretty frustrating as well. Maybe it's because I so vehemently disagree with the way it's presented to me. I don't know. Miles, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna end with some of the words of Miki Makamura, my favorite character from the show, and she talks about how we all must, love other people and doing known. And then she says, even if I am powerless, even if each of us is powerless, we must all do this, which I think is a major message from the show that a human can't make a large change, but humans in general, if we band together and we, you know, try to live better, we'll be able to create a better world for all of us. And if we don't do that, then we won't, as shown. This is my favorite anime of all time. It sits at number 1 on my rankings, and I gave it an 8. I gave it, gave it a 10. Yeah, but I love this show.
There you go. All right. Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I had a really decent time watching this show. I thought that the messages, like, it's not as deep as people made them out to be, for sure. Like, whenever you hear people talk about it, you'd swear it was just like the most moving thing ever. And it did have some moving parts to it. Like, I enjoyed a lot of the theming and stuff, but I feel like it kind of fell flat in a few places for me. I mean, it's Science Saru, and they're my favorite studio at this point, so I love the animation. Yuasa, like I'm a Yuasa mark, so all those are pluses for me. Banging soundtrack. I think that the characters are the best part of this for sure compared to the overall plot. Like Akira and Rio and everything. I think they're all really fun characters, complex characters, honestly, even compared to the themes of the show. And overall, I just had a really fun time. This is a 9 for me.
Ooh, my math isn't mathing. 1 second.
I agree with what you said, Jay, about the characters being the strongest part of the show as well, or at least one of the stronger parts of the show. Like they are all like complex and layered, like onions and ogres, very layered. So yeah, Pete, what about you?
Man, I actually raised my score on the show from this conversation. I think it hits the nail on the head with a lot of issues and topics that's going on, especially when we're like 3 weeks away from voting for our next president. Like, it's kind of nuts that I'm like really resonating with this. Honestly, on paper, I think this show is a 10, but I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy watching this show. Like, I really was not looking forward to rewatching this. I skipped the second part of episode 9 because that scene is just it's terrifying. Like, just knowing that scene is just crazy. So, like, I didn't have fun watching this show, but goddamn, do I not respect the shit out of this. This show is great. I'm gonna give it an 8. But I really do think that this is like, if I was, I feel like if I was like 23, I think this might be a 10, but I like fluffy shit, man.
I honestly can't wait for the Yuru Camp Devilman Crybaby arc.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
What's the pink hair girl's name?
Nadeshko.
He's saying.
Probably out of the 4 of them, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so aloof. Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm not the only non-10 like I feared I would be coming into this.
Oh no. Pete had this at a 7 beforehand, and he just would always tell me that it makes him sad. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I agree with Pete. I think that's a very good point too, that like enjoyment wise, I was curious but not enjoying it a lot at all while watching it, beyond being like, oh wow, like honestly, some of the most fun I had with the show was just like every time it would come up on the screen, I'd like point and be like boobies and then laugh
You
about
do
it.
that a lot,
And
huh?
yeah, I did, well, maybe not every time it came up, but I did it a few times just because it was like I don't know how else to like, because it's tense. It's very intense. And again, this is not necessarily a knock on the show's production. It's just the level of an enjoyment that I got out of it. But like, it's intense. It's stressful. I did want to. We watched it within like 24 hours, like of starting it. Could not put it down. It was very fascinating, but I found it so much more frustrating than rewarding as I watched it. And then I wanted to come out of this feeling like fully cleansed and having fought the demon inside me and becoming a devil man. And I think I'm losing to the demon. So 6 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry. I just could not man, I'm mad. Like I'm like close to a 7, but I just don't. Maybe I'll change it eventually, but it really did not resonate with me at all. The messaging, I again, I guess I don't understand the message, or it's not making sense to me. But the message that I got from the show frustrated me and did not leave me satisfied, and I disagreed with it. Which again, maybe I don't disagree with the message that everyone else sees in it. Probably don't, because of what we've talked about today. But that's not the message that I saw in the show, and so that's where I ended up. But yeah, guess that wraps up our discussion of Devilman Crybaby. We ended up at an 8.25 overall, with a 7.75 being the Mal average, so a little higher than Mal. But yeah, that'll wrap us up. So, Miles, why don't you tell us what we're watching 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, and I will say just really quick, I think that the not feeling great about this is like a super normal thing. One of my favorite emotions is existential dread, and I love it and I seek it. And on an unrelated note, I have terrible anxiety. Um,
Yeah,
but yes,
no, and I get that this show is like, again, it makes sense that you like it so much too. Like, it's not, I'm not like offended that this show exists and is good. It's just it's not my cup of tea by any means, you know.
oh yeah, no, and I don't, there's a reason it's my favorite show, and I've never been like, hey Pat, watch Devilman Crybaby. It's my
Yeah,
favorite show.
thank you.
Um,
I appreciate you.
because I think we get each other. But yes, what we are watching next time, we had our closest vote to date with ranges of 24 to 27 unadjusted points. I'm going to do something because I can. I'm going to give everything that didn't win a legacy point. I know that's not technically how it works, but I just feel like the shows deserve it.
I agree.
Um, because nothing, who knows? It was all very close. But in last place, we had High School of the Dead, followed by Oh Maidens. And then we had a tie when we add these legacy points together. So I we talked about different tiebreakers. Do we want to flip a coin? Do we want to leave this to chance, or do
The-
we want?
The mods do mod things.
What do you think?
I think we literally right before we started recording agreed with
So
like
yeah, I'm happy with
that.
that. I just want to know, if we don't do that, do we want to leave it to chance? Is the thought, like, for the fun? Life is more fun when with money on the line. Either way, or we can just do what we agreed upon.
I don't know. I feel like we should do what we agreed upon this time. However, maybe if that's something that people would think would be fun in the future, the next time this happens 3 years from now, because I think this is the second time it's happened to us, then maybe we can do it that way the next time.
Okay, I am
Which,
okay with that.
to be fair, I would be very happy with either of the shows that I know are tied at this point too. So
Yeah.
I would have been
And
happy with all four of them, though. Honestly, this was a really good week of nominating, guys. Good job.
in this, yeah, in that case, we have in second Rakugo Shinjo, earning another legacy point and continuing its history of coming in second. And we will be watching 43, 86 next week. Not next week, in 2 weeks. So that is what we're going to be doing. That should be a fun episode. Instead of me getting so heated with Pat this time, it'll be Pete.
I'll be there too.
I can't wait to have to defend. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research to defend this show. Apparently, I don't know.
And
Wait, hold on.
my hope is that Jay, who you haven't seen it yet, Jay, right?
No, I haven't.
I hope you unironically adore it.
It would be fantastic. It would be
it
amazing.
would be great.
I think there's a lot to like in it for different people, which is why it appealed to so many different people. Like, there's drama, there's mechs, which of course, again, they're CG. Yeah, they are ugly as shit, but they still do fight in cool ways. Like, I don't know, like, it's not there's very interesting characters, in my opinion. I think that there's a cool plot. It's again, you can dumb it down to just Nazis, but like, I don't know, why do you think there are so many World War II movies? Like, they're interesting. The concepts around them are interesting. So I think we're due for a fun time. Which, by the way, I didn't nominate this. I don't think, right? This was Pete.
Cat.
Cat.
Or was it Cat this time? But didn't you nominate the first time?
Cat is been on a little bit of a hot streak, and I don't know.
Well, figure it out another time. Sorry, Trent. Have fun editing this one, buddy. We love you and appreciate you. Yeah, let's do our nominations. It's oh no.
I spent like one. Yeah, I did. Like, I fucking took all these fucking notes on this show. Forgot to think of another show. Okay.
Oh, why don't you just put 86 Part 2 up, because it's.
I do need to watch it at some point.
Yeah, and you'd enjoy it. She gets a new hairpiece.
I do love that trope. I'm the opposite of Pete. Someone gets a new haircut, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that changed their entire character.
Well, the best part is she doesn't change. It's just like a visual representation of it, in my opinion. But fair enough. So are you nominating 86 Part 2? Thank you, Miles. Jay, what about you?
What is Miles nominating?
86 Part 2.
Oh,
totally.
Jesus.
That's what he's nominating. Wink, wink. Yeah,
100%. I'll just re-up maintenance.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I'm kidding. I've tried to strong arm him into it. But what about you, Jay?
I will. You know what?
86 Part 2.
No. No. I'll nominate Terror and Resonance.
This is such a J nomination.
I think that's also Science Star.
No, it's Mappa.
Oh, they did Tokyo Magnitude.
Oh, is it Terror Residence?
Terror in Residence.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Terror. Yeah. Okay, I found it out. I thought he said Terran Residence or something, and I was like, "What's this 1998 ass anime?" But it's not. So.
There you go. Pete, what about you?
I'll re-up Rocker Go. Hopefully, it gets the dub this time.
And I'll keep it simple too, and I'll re-up High School of the Dead. We're so close. I see people talking about it on Twitter now, and it's not like I'm searching for it in any way. So I think let's get a resurgence. Apparently won the YouTube poll too by a landslide, according to Pete. Keep voting. Please keep voting. Let's get some actual vote on Discord. You get more credit for it too, by the way. Just saying, you do get more points by voting on Discord than just by being part of a poll. So please comment anything. Let's watch a Pat show again. Although I guess we're kind of doing that next week indirectly, but it would be really nice. I would like to win again. Smile. Thank you. So yeah, I guess that wraps up our watch club for the week. Pete, take it away, Pete.
Yeah, if you've made this far and you want to support us, the best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you're watching or listening to us on. Next week, we will be doing the fall first impressions. There we go. Got it. Otherwise, if you're here for Watch Club in 2 weeks, we will see you for 43. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.